Okay, I'm going to talk a little bit about what is one of the most crude techniques that we have in kumite, in fighting, and that's the headbutt. The headbutt for women may be one of the most effective techniques in your arsenal. It is deadly. It is dangerous. It's been removed from MMA. It's been banned from MMA. I knew a fighter that used it quite effectively in MMA. It's been removed from boxing forever. I think it's banned in judo. It's banned everywhere, but in a life preservation situation, it can save your life. Now there's a number of different headbutts. The basic headbutt is just a forward headbutt. And what I do, I take the crown of my head and I smack you right. I try to smack you above the eyebrow because I want to split that eyebrow. It's a fatty, tissuey, soft tissue area. If I cut that open, boom, then you start to bleed. I can also strike the zygomatic or cheekbones, boom, make that bleed. I can strike the nose, boom, make that bleed. I miss the nose and I hit the filter, boom, that drives your teeth or your lips into your teeth. Another effective strike. These are life preservation techniques. Should be. That's the first headbutt. That's just a forward headbutt. The next headbutt is a rising headbutt. If we're in a situation here and we're tightening up, I used to didn't wear glasses. This is getting difficult. I'm getting old. We're here and I got nothing. I come up under, boom, I strike the chin with the top of my head. That can knock him out. If not, it's going to loosen his grip on you and allow you to go into some other grip. The next headbutt is, again, we just discussed it in one of the other videos. It's got you from behind. You drop your weight and you smack him anywhere you can. You can't really see where you're going, so you're shooting for his face. You want to bust his nose. You want to make him bleed so he releases you and lets you out of that grasp. The last one, this is a very important one, is the side headbutt. So when you're in here tight, and if you're in a clinch and you make a mistake and you put your head over his shoulder, he can take that shoulder and drive it up under your chin and knock you out. If he's really smart, boom, he'll hit you. So you don't want to come in like this. A lot of fighters, amateurs will do that, and it's boom under the chin. If you find yourself in this position, first thing you want to do is you want to go sideways, strike his temple, his ear, boom, to get out. You want to get him to release you. Those are the four basic headbutts and the four striking areas of the head. Crown of the head, side of the head, back of the head. They are effective. You can even drop a headbutt, boom, on the shoulder, on the collarbone. It depends on what your target is. Remember, you can go here, boom, and then boom, up with the top of your head. The way we trained when I was young, yes, Frank, that was a long, long time ago. I know what you're thinking. We used to use 1-inch pine boards across cinder blocks, and we would bust them, boom, with our forehead to ensure we understood how much it took to break that board. Because whatever I used to break that board was the same amount of pressure it'd take for me to, bang, break his, or cut his eye, split his eyebrow, or damage his zygomatic bone. The other thing is if I hit him with a headlock or headbutt, boom, here on the cheekbone, every time I hit him in the cheekbone from that point on, oh, 10 times the pain. It'll shoot through his entire body. It may not take him down, but then at that point, I start working on this. If I split his eyebrow, I start working on elbows to the eyebrow. It's an entry. It will scare your opponent to death. Ladies, it can save your life. Now, if you're on the ground, this is where headbutts are most effective. I'm going to go over the hip line. This is where headbutts are most effective because he can't move. So I'm fighting, bang! I break his nose, bang! I split his eyebrow. He's got no way to stop me other than grab my shoulders and try to keep me from doing it. And even if he grabs my shoulders, bang, I can still get him. That's okay. My glasses are flopping around, that's right. From this position, I can still, from the bottom, I can still get it. It's hard, it's not as effective. But I gotta grab this, bang, and bring my head forward. I gotta meet my head and pull his head down and meet his head with mine. The major target when you do it from the ground is the nose. You want to split the eyebrows, you want to bust the cheekbone, you want to fracture the orbital, you want to break the nose, smash the philtrum, and that might save your life, especially if you're a lady and you've been attacked and you're on the ground. We think two-dimensionally. We think hands. And we do a lot of this, especially women, because we don't teach women how to fight. And they scratch and claw, which is great for gathering DNA, but it may not save your life. If you're on the bottom and he's on top of you and break his nose, then you can hip shift out of it. So Frank's going to go to the bottom, he's going to headbutt me, and he's going to hip shift out to show you what I'm talking about. So I'm here, I'm a big bad guy, and I got you. I'm like, I'm going to hurt you, lady. Grabs me, boom, boom, boom. It worked a lot better when I was younger, training Frank. You have glasses then. That should give you an idea of how important. It may be a crude technique, but it's a valuable technique. And that's
One point about the headbutt is it's great for everything that we've described, but it's also a weapon when you think you don't have a weapon. So if I'm a guy and this is a lady and I grab and I control, like now I feel like I've got control. Right from here, all of a sudden, boom, bang. If I come from here and I grab forward, once again, and you don't have to think one at a time, right? So if I grab and I hold on, and he decides to strike, like I may just back up. Well, why stop? Why not hit me again and again until I release and then drive an elbow? So it's a really great weapon because, as Sensei says, we think linear. And all of a sudden, we take away the linear, your attacker thinks you don't have a weapon. Now note, when we grab, and if this is my attacker, and we hold on, I can pull, or I can pull away, and that head goes at the same time. So the pull here, and the push here, creates opposite forces, doubles attack. Important for a woman. So a woman that's maybe 70, 80, 90 pounds can deal a ton of force. Maybe it's not a lot. Maybe it's just enough to stun me, to spin and run. And that's the elements of the head.
One more thing. If you split the eyebrow and you put blood in their eyes, it's hard for them to see. The other thing is if you make someone bleed and they can see it running off their face, their focus isn't always on the combat anymore. Their focus is on how badly am I injured. This is true of amateurs. Professional fighters, you can split them like a gourd and they'll bleed like a, I don't want to use the metaphor, but they'll bleed a lot and they don't care. They don't see the blood. You got to understand that's true with you too. Because you're bleeding does not mean you're hurt. I had my scalp split when I was in a fight when I was younger, and the fight ended because I had blood coming off my head and I was screaming home to my mama thinking I was dying. 2 stitches later, everything's good. Blood don't kill you unless you're bleeding a lot. Understand that in a life or death situation, you can't worry about your injuries. You can worry about those later. I think that's got it pretty much.